This is News 8 at 6.
You could see the smoke and flames for miles. Video captured on News 8 York Skycam as fire rips through 3 row homes.
I just ran into my kids' room and I'm just like, we gotta get out of here.
News 8's live team coverage starts now. Good evening, I'm Ron Martin.
And I'm Kim Lemon. News 8's Barbara Barr talked with firefighters about why this fire was so challenging.
But first, News 8's Meredith Jorgensen joins us live from Wallace Street with more on what happened. Good evening, Meredith.
Ron and Kim, a woman looked away from her breakfast for just a moment, but that started a fire that took firefighters hours to put out.
Fire travels throughout these homes real quickly.
And in minutes, flames ripped through 3 homes.
The adrenaline starts pumping, people are scurrying, and you know, it is difficult. You got to try to keep your mind focused on what the job at hand is.
It started when Gloria Diaz put potatoes on her stove for breakfast this morning.
I turned to the side to the sink to wash my dishes, and when I looked, it was on fire. So it's an inferno. It was real bad.
She ran out and alerted her neighbors.
My initial reaction was like, my kids, my baby, get us out, get us safe. God, please just keep us safe.
Katie White, who's 8 months pregnant, and her 2 young daughters made it out, but then watched as their home and everything inside it burned.
Right now, I'm just trying to stay calm because I'm due in a month and I don't want to go into labor right now.
I feel bad for the people who they're going to lose everything.
Now, the Whites did lose a lot of stuff. They do have 2 girls, and they're expecting a boy, so they did have a lot of blue baby clothes that they were able to salvage. But things like this blue bassinet and the pack and play have been destroyed. They are thankful, though, that they got out with their lives. That's the latest here. Back to you, Ron.
All right, News 8's Meredith Jorgensen live tonight. Thanks, Meredith.
All right, well, this was today's fire, but imagine fighting this fire with all of this stuff. Of course, you've got the breathing apparatus that weighs about 35 pounds. The boots in themselves are heavy enough. The helmet, I've never picked one up before until today, but look at this. And of course, you've got the coat and the gloves, winter gear pretty much in a summer situation. Well, News 8's Barbara Barr is working on that part of the story, and she joins us now live. Barbara?
Kim, fighting this fire is kind of like working in an oven with a winter coat on and a ski mask, not to mention 50 to 100 pounds of weights on your back and all the danger that is constantly around you. It's a job that's certainly not for the faint of heart. Firefighters are used to the heat, but it can take its toll, especially when it's hot outside and inside.
You can see as you scan around the guys around here why you can take notice that they're pretty well beat up.
Even grizzled veterans had beads of sweat and dirt on their faces. They were called out to the row home fire on Wallace Street in York, and you could see they were battle-worn.
Crews were just behind the 8 ball when we got here.
The fire was spreading quickly, and it was like an oven in there.
It was very hot, very, very hot inside there. It gets up there about 1,300 degrees or better, so it gets pretty intense in there.
When they got outside, they were handed water and Gatorade. Fans provided a welcome breeze. With more than 100 firefighters on hand, the chief rotated them in and out.
That's one of the reasons why we went extra alarms, so that we would have fresh crews, so we could rotate them through rehab, so that nobody's getting beat up too terribly bad all at once.
Each shift was about 45 minutes long, or the length of time 2 air tanks last. A change from years ago when firefighters would stay inside basically till they were ready to drop. And yet, they wouldn't trade places with anyone.
I love doing it. It's something that I love to do.
And the precautions paid off. Not a single firefighter here was hurt. We're live in York. We'll send it back to you, Kim.
Yeah, we'll say that again. No firefighters were injured today on the fire on Wallace Street. It's just several blocks away from Chestnut Street, the scene of a row home fire in 2009. And Barbara, you were there at that fire as well as some of the firefighters that fought today's fire.
Kim, while this one was certainly intense, in talking to the firefighters who were here and there a couple of years ago on Chestnut Street, they say that that one really was one of a kind. And I can pretty much attest to that because when you were on the street looking at it, you could really feel the heat that day and smell the smoke. It really lingered in the air. So this one's certainly a tough one, but I think firefighters also learned from that. They had this go to 4 alarms, and they got a number of firefighters here quickly and were able to control to just a few homes, not a whole block.
Wow, that gives you a whole new respect, doesn't it? All right, thank you, Barbara.